early morning hours of Bangkok. It's about 6:30, and I have been really out of sorts ever since I've been here. Probably due to lack of sleep, and finally it really caught up to me yesterday. Alright, I'm traveling through the streets of Bangkok, and I would show you who is driving me right now, but she prefers not to be on the video. So she will remain anonymous, but she goes by the name Gal, even though it's not a real name. Why do they call you, that's the nickname your parents gave you? Okay. So in Thailand, you get a nickname that your parents give you. So I can't tell you her real name.
You can, whatever you want.
I can?
Your personal Uber?
My personal Uber, yep, that I don't have to pay for.
Yep.
Second day in Bangkok, and there's James. You have to be very careful about cars. They will come up right behind you. And I'm surprised I haven't seen anyone get hit yet. A full 24 hours, very full 24 hours, been doing a lot. And James and I had a great discussion at breakfast, which I did not record. And I've got a lot of thoughts going through my head right now as we walk to the main area from our apartment. I'm realizing that I'm feeling very disorganized. And that's kind of why I like to travel, because it gets me out of my routine, gets me out of my usual organization. And I think that's where something interesting can happen, something special can happen. Last time I traveled was in Tokyo earlier this February, and that's when I came up with the idea of MidLife Man. So it's when you get out of the normal organization, you actually become disorganized. And becoming disorganized, you can let new information, new insights come in. This is why people or tribes in certain countries do hallucinogenic drugs. It's to come up with these insights, get you out of your normal way of thinking. Well, you don't have to take drugs, you could travel. That's one way you could do it. Getting disorganized to reorganize in a different way. So when I get back to Santa Cruz, I will reorganize. So James and I was having an interesting discussion about freedom. This is something I think drives a lot of men. We want freedom. And women, I think, in general, they or a value that they value highly. I'm sure most women value freedom, but it seems to be more like a man thing, like at the top of our value stack. And for women, it seems to be more like relationships and community and family and that sort of thing. And no right or wrong here, or no better value than over the other. I think they're both super important. And he's moving to Thailand in January. And for him, it's about freedom, and it's about the experience. It's about being able to do things here that he can't do back in California, like have a really nice big apartment in the middle of town and be able to afford it. Unlike, say, in San Francisco, where you pay, 20 times the amount. It's a quality of life thing for him. There's a downside to that, though. That is, you can't make a whole lot of money here. You can be a teacher, you can teach English, but you're not going to make a lot of money. And it's harder to come back to the U.S. when you haven't made a lot of money and you've been living in a third world country. But he understands that, so it's one of the challenges he'll have to face. My way of going about freedom is through financial independence and not trading my time for money, by creating businesses that I don't need to be working at to make an hourly wage or to make a salary. That I can be here right now and making money at the same time, or making money even when I'm sleeping. That it's It's an automated sort of way of making an income. That to me is freedom. Then I can live in Thailand, which I don't intend to, but I could, while making U.S. dollars. Making U.S. dollars while living here would be a wonderful thing. You could live like a king here. But I have kids too, so I'm not uprooting them and moving them here. It's an interesting way to look at things, because I've been meeting people here in Thailand, meeting women, and they say to be cautious of, women wanting your money and stuff like that. And I don't judge them for that. Everybody's got to make their way in life. And I was trying to explain this to this woman I was hanging out with, and she thought it meant that I was thinking she was trying to do something deceptive or something like that, that she wanted something from me. And I was like, no, don't think of it that way. It's like we all want something. When we do something, it's always because we want something, even if that's wanting something for someone else. It must be understood, though, the more conscious you are of your wants and your desires, the better for everyone. Because if something is not good for you, or not good for someone else, and the want you have is unconscious, then it's hard to know that. So it's good to be very aware of your desires and your wants and your values, so that you can articulate them, and also check what we say in NLP as check ecology. Make sure it's good for everyone, not just for yourself, or you're not trying to take advantage of anyone. That you can take the whole system in mind, keeping the whole system in mind when you go after what you want, so that you don't hurt other people, you don't hurt yourself. We're getting massages, they're really cheap here, so we're here. And we were supposed to go out, we had plans. James wanted to go to a rooftop club, which sounded really interesting, even though I don't like clubs. And I was supposed to go to the night market. I still haven't gotten a pair of sandals, which I've been trying to get my hands on, because my boots are really not appropriate for this weather and the rain. And my poor boots are just, they won't dry. They got wet when we came in, basically, and they haven't dried since. I'd like to have my boots intact by the time I get home. That might not happen. I said, I'm gonna go take a nap. And James said, no man, if you take a nap, you're not getting up. He said, power through this, get on Bangkok time, and let's go. And I just said, I can't. And going to a club didn't interest me that much. And later he texted me and told me I wouldn't like it, because he knows I'm not into the club scene, so I'm glad I didn't go. I slept. I set an alarm for an hour. I was wishful thinking, maybe thinking that I would be refreshed after an hour, and I certainly wasn't, so I just shut the alarm off and I went back to sleep. I went through just a very strange next few hours. In general, since I've been here, it almost feels like I've been in a waking dream, or like I'll think that I texted somebody, or I'll think about doing something, and then I'll think that I actually did it, and then I'll go back and find out that I didn't do it. And that usually happens when I haven't had enough sleep. I was just in a weird state the whole time. It was like, I went through some weird emotions, some negative, some positive, and it's hard for me to even remember what it was. But after a while, it seemed so chaotic. It seemed like I had feelings going in different directions, and it was just really strange. But luckily, or fortunately, I didn't engage in any of the feelings. Like, I didn't freak out over anything, or I didn't take on a feeling as, oh, this is how things are. I just kind of, realized these are just feelings that are coming up, emotions that are coming up, just let them. Eventually, I came to a point where it all seemed to settle. I'm in a country cowboy place in Thailand, and listening to Sweet Home Alabama from a Thai band, and hanging out with friends who suck at pool just as much as I do. I feel much better. An extremely interesting city, and the people here so far have been really, really nice, and they're also are very interesting. I was planning to go to Angkor Wat, Cambodia. It's just not going to happen. I'm just too tired, or I was too tired, and then if I was going to make it happen, it would have been today. Maybe something else will change later in the week, who knows. But we're planning to go to an island, Koh Sandeep, I don't know. Anyway, we're supposed to go to an island for 2 nights, which I think would be very nice, and I don't need to keep jumping from country to country. I will go to Singapore because I have to fly out of Singapore, so I will eventually end up in Singapore. Angkor Wat, well, I'll have to come back another time and do that, but I'm really enjoying my time here. Have plans for today, but who knows what will happen with that because things seem to change a lot. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, like I mentioned, please click the like button and hit the subscribe button if you would like more of these videos, and the bell so that you can get notified when I put new videos out. If you'd like to get my free MidLife Manifesto, click this icon here. It'll bring you to a page where you just enter your email and the MidLife Manifesto will be emailed to you. The principles are universal. You can apply it really at any age and any gender. Again, it's coming from a perspective of a man in midlife. Wishing you joy, happiness, and passion at any point in your life. Take care.